Okay, so last week in my email, I asked you guys for some common questions that you might have around fitness, nutrition. I get, honestly, from my clients and my friends and family, a lot of the same questions come up all the time. And I think it's really confusing in the fitness world. There's a lot of, every week you can read a different article, a different perspective, different research paper that's coming out that's contradicting another thing. And it's hard to know, like, what should you even do? What's going to get you the results? And it's hard to know who to ask. And maybe you don't have a personal trainer in your family or in your friend circle that you can ask. So I wanted to put it out to you guys and find out what you were curious about. And I'm going to do a maybe 4 to 5 week video series. I'm going to answer one question that came in or that I get from my friends and family and send it out to you guys in this short video, because I think it's easier to watch a video than to read like a 8-paragraph long email from me. So this week, I want to talk about nutrition timing. I get this question actually a lot. If it's better to work out before having breakfast, like to work out on it's a fasted stomach without any food in it, or if you're like working out in the evening, is it better to eat your dinner before or eat it after? What if it's like you work out at 6 or 7, so then you're eating dinner at 8 or 9 o'clock. Like what, and like, does it matter what you eat? Should you not eat carbs after 6 p.m.? Should you not eat fruit after 2 p.m.? I've heard like so many crazy things. So what I want to say, and this is the same with everything, literally everything in the health and fitness world, there's no one answer for everyone. You are a unique being with a unique body and a unique system. And what works for me, what works for, your cousin, your friend, whatever, doesn't work for everyone. So that's my disclaimer. And I'm going to give you my personal advice. So you can take it as it is, do your own research, listen to other people that you trust and that you believe are well educated on it, and then come to your own conclusion. That's my best advice to you. Having said that, is it better to do a fasted workout? So this means doing cardio, going for a run or a bike ride or whatever kind of like HIIT workout in the morning before you eat breakfast. Some people would say this is super important. Honestly, I don't think it is. I think that most people and most of my clients who work with me, they're not at the level where we're talking like a few percentage of body fat that they're just trying to like get rid of so they can look perfect on the magazine cover for the photo shoot. Like when you're at that level of health and nutrition, okay, some of these strategies might be important, but for the average person, doing a fasted workout in the morning versus not, I don't think it's going to change your results. What's going to change your results is being consistent. So stupidly consistent. Not like 2 days on, 1 week off, 3 days on, 4 weeks off. Like literally 2 to 3 workouts a week, tons of movement, a lot of movement, and a good focus on your nutrition. That's what's going to get you results. So for me, if a client or a friend or anyone asks me this, I just think there are so many other areas in your life where you can focus your energy to make changes that are going to give you results, as opposed to worrying about eating before workout or not eating before workout. So going back to the personalization piece, for me, I wake up hungry. I wake up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. I'm hungry all the time. I am hungry as soon as I wake up. So if I'm going to work out, I have something small. I don't want to have something heavy, because if I'm working out, I don't want it like weighted in my stomach. I don't want to feel it like bouncing around. I don't want indigestion or any of that stuff. So for me, I found over the years that half a banana with some peanut butter is enough to kind of quiet the hunger pains in my stomach, give me enough energy. There's carbs and protein in there. Give me enough energy to get through the workout and push and challenge myself. And then after I come home and shower and whatever, then I can have breakfast. So that's what works for me. I've tried many things over the years. I used to have a belief that I couldn't eat anything before a workout, before a run, before anything. I was like, I can't have anything in my stomach, I'll get cramps. And honestly, that was not founded on truth. It was a belief I had in my head, and I don't know where I got it from. And then I started to try having like a little piece of toast or a little bit of fruit, and then I thought, oh, I'm fine. I can work out. I can go for a run. So just I say that to challenge yourself to think about, like, do you have something in your head that you believe to be true that isn't actually proven to be true? Because I know I was in that scenario. Okay, so the second question, the kind of follow-up to that is like, what about in the evening? If you work out at 6 or 7 o'clock, it's challenging because then it's late by the time you ate dinner. And should you really eat dinner that close before going to bed? Okay, so For me, I don't want to eat dinner before a big workout. I don't want to have a heavy meal. That like just doesn't feel good in my stomach. So for me, I will have a snack around like 4:30, 5 o'clock if I'm working out at 6. And then I will come home and eat. Sometimes it's 7:30, 8:30, and I go to bed at 10 o'clock. So while I don't want to have a heavy meal an hour before I go to bed, I try not to eat to the point where I feel so full and gross. I want to just eat to a comfortable level, actually like full minus like 10 or 15%, especially if it's late at night. I don't want to get to that point where I'm like, oh, that was so delicious, but I shouldn't have had those last 3 bites. That's too much food. So the other strategy that I do, if I know I have a workout around 6 or 7, I'm not going to get home till 7:30 or 8, is I prep my dinner as much as possible beforehand. So as an example, last week I made some pizza. So I had the flatbread pizza dough, and I like put everything together and then just left it covered on my stovetop. So as soon as I came home, I turned the oven on. Pizza went in the oven while I was in the shower, and then it was 8 o'clock by the time I ate, but I didn't have to start making dinner at 7:45. It was like already prepped. Or maybe if I was doing some, I don't know, whatever, I would like make the rice ahead of time, or I would make components ahead of time if possible, to speed it up after. And I personally don't worry about eating late. That's my perspective. If you look at some of the healthiest countries around the world, Spain and France and lots of European countries, and actually lots of just international countries, the culture is to eat later. So North America is a culture that eats at 5 or 6 o'clock, and it's a culture that struggles with obesity the most. So you have to look at that and think, is it the timing of the food, or is it the type of food and the quantity of food? My guess would be the latter. I don't think it's the timing of food, because there's many people in other parts of the world who are eating very late. They're eating carbs, they're eating dairy, they're having wine, and they don't deal with the obesity epidemic the same way that we do in North America. So food for thought. And then the last piece, kind of just around nutrition timing, I want to talk about is protein, and having like, is it necessary to have a protein shake or a protein bar post-workout? So if you're lifting heavy, and I hope you are, because it's really, that's a whole separate video about why I think you should be strength training. But I hope you are adding some strength training into your routine and your schedule. You do need protein. So let me back up. When you're challenging yourself and you're strength training, you're creating all these little micro tears in your muscles. It is the recovery that actually builds the muscle. It's not the workout. The workout challenges it. It breaks down the muscle fiber. It is the recovery that builds it. So rest days are important. Doing, walking, yoga, stretching, low impact stuff, and getting a proper source of nutrition is really important for recovery to build the muscle. If you always just work out really intense and then you don't focus on your nutrition, your body can't replenish and it can't repair. And then this is when injuries become prevalent. So if, let's say, I'm doing a workout midday or mid-morning, or I don't know, even in the morning, and then I'm going to work or something like this, and I don't have time for like a proper meal. I don't have time to have a breakfast, or it's like kind of mid-afternoon and I'm not going to eat dinner till later. Yeah, I would have a protein shake. I would say in the hour to maybe 2 hours after workout, you do want to have a substantial amount of protein, and I'm gonna throw anywhere in the like 20-30 grams, somewhere in there, post-workout. Doesn't have to be immediate unless you're a bodybuilder and you're training for a fitness show. But in the hour to 2 after workout, yeah, you should be having protein, definitely for muscle regeneration. So protein powder, I really like Garden of Life. It's the one that just sits easiest in my gut, doesn't cause me digestive issues. It's vegan, it's pea protein based, I believe. And for some people, myself included, whey protein just gives me indigestion. It doesn't feel great. So I like the vegan protein, and that one is not as grainy as some of the other ones. So I would have a protein shake if my workout is timed in that way, where I'm not going to be eating a full meal. My rule of thumb is that like food is always best. Whole food is always best. If you can get your protein and your nutrients from whole foods, absolutely go for that. Don't feel like you need to have a protein shake, you need to have a protein bar, but they are good supplements when you don't have access to a meal, or if you're too busy or something like that. Okay, so that is my little 101 on nutrition and timing, whether it's in the morning, in the evening, midday, post workout. I hope that was helpful for you. I'd love to know if there was some information in there that was really eye-opening, useful, something that you're like, oh, great, amazing, I had that question too. And if you have another question that you would like me to answer, please hit reply on the email. I have a running list, and the ones that I kind of see come up time and time again, I'm definitely gonna do in next week in the following week emails. Okay, thanks for listening.